Does anybody else feel like they need to reset 2026 already? Just me? Okay. It's Sunday, February 1st, 2026, which is crazy because that means it's been exactly 30 days since I last seen y'all. So let's get caught up. I'm already 3 weeks into my prep for my competition in Houston, Texas in September. So things are already moving in that aspect. And I've been absent, like I said, but it's also been very intentional because right after I made that last video that y'all saw in January, I started thinking a lot about my history, my past, and how things kind of have a recurring theme with them, in that I start strong and then kind of fade away when the novelty starts to disappear, and that's just kind of the ADHD in me. So I wanted to take the first few weeks of 2026 and even this prep just to kind of be a way to myself to prove that this has nothing to do with views or likes, and that I could show up even when there's no one paying attention. So yeah, I feel like in that regard, everything's moving. You know what I mean? Like, weight is moving in the right direction. I'll probably pop up a weight update, or maybe not, because I actually got something big coming that might be in the next video. We'll get to that later. I'm getting ahead of myself. I think if I'm being honest with you guys, and even with myself, I let too much of January run on momentum instead of structure. So like the last video, I talked about what my goals were for the year, and there was like 5 of them. And they were specific goals, but they weren't as tight as I think they needed to be. One of the things that really stood out on me as I look back on January is there were so many decisions that were made a little bit too late, or maybe even too loosely, and over a long timeline, kind of like a 30+ week prep. That kind of adds friction, and that's one of the things that I know moving forward usually derails me, is friction. Like anything that stands in the way of getting it done, as we talked about the way things work up here, anything that stands in the way of getting things done kind of derails progress almost every time. And so I wanted to take this moment to like point out some observations that I made about January and how I'm going to fix them going forward in February. I think observation number 1, and like the easiest thing to pinpoint, is that I kept a lot of this stuff in my head. Like even when I, read those goals off back in the beginning of January, like that was all in here, but I never put it on paper, which y'all know all by itself, that's dangerous to trust. If you know, you know. I knew what I was working toward, but I never sat down and really like got specific about it. I never put it on paper in a way that forced clarity for me to have to actually visually look at something and know these are the steps. And I know enough now to know, in my world, if it's not written down, it's negotiable. And I feel like one of the easiest fixes to that problem is fairly simple, and that's just returning back to the things that actually worked for me previously. So like there were several things that I was doing in the previous month that I kind of moved away from. I had a habit tracker that I physically put pen to paper every day, and was like kind of like almost like gamifying life. Like checking off, did I make the bed? Did I brush my teeth? Did I get my 12K steps? Did I eat all my meals? Did I journal? Did I pray? Did I spend time with family? Whatever, you know what I mean? And I even tracked my sleep on it, and it was working for me. And then when the year started, I had this energy rush, and like just completely pushed aside what was working and just tried to go off of the strength of motivation. Apparently Siri wants to be in this video. Tried to go off the sheer strength of like the excitement. And this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of like, I've never had a problem starting. The motivation hits, or the not motivation, y'all know how I feel about that word. When the inspiration strikes or the feeling is high, I can run with it. And in that energy surge, I just kind of moved away from the tracking and was just like, I'm going. And the solution to that is real simple. Go back to doing the little things, because it's the little things that add up, much like building a brick wall. You got to do one brick at a time. I want goals to be visible to me. They need to be visible to me. They got to be out of my head. You know what I mean? Like for me, if it's written, it stops being something I can, do based on how I feel. It becomes something I either execute or I don't execute, like cut and dry. And for me personally, that's how it has to be. There can't be a secondary option. Either you execute it or you didn't execute. When I look down in that tracker, there's either a check mark or there's a blank spot. And for me, I'd rather see checks than X's or blank spots, because blank spots means I failed. And, we all know what that spiral is like at times. I think another thing that I noticed that kind of bothers me looking back on it now is I let a few decisions kind of wait until they absolutely had to be made. Things like training timing or food structure, or even how I was spending my evenings. And I know I have a coach who gives me, the rundown of what is expected of me to do during prep. But he also gives me the freedom of like, here's your list of things that you have to do, and you kind of fit them into the pockets of your day. Luckily, nothing blew up in my face. You know what I mean? Everything still kind of worked out. But I do realize that kind of delay compounds over time. Most of the time, late decisions turn into emotional decisions. And that's usually where things start to drift for me, when I allow emotions to step in and play a role in my decision making instead of having it like on point. And so it's just like setting things in motion in advance. And so like having meals prepped, it ain't got to be like completely bowled up, but like prepping ingredients, not meals. So if I'm cooking chicken, we're doing 4 pounds of chicken. We're doing 3 pounds of beef. We're doing, a giant thing of rice or what have you, whatever it is on the ticket for that day, but it's prepared and ready. So I don't have to get ready, because I stay ready. Hey, stay ready. You don't have to get ready. So I think for me, knowing that these things are already locked in place ahead of time, I'm not relying on discipline at the point that I'm already tired, or at the point where I'm waking up at 4:30 to go to the gym and do cardio. I don't have to think about, what am I supposed to eat? It's just like everything's there, put it in the bowl, boom, 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 in the backpack, we out the door, and we're moving. I feel like that one change diminishes a ton of unnecessary friction for me. And the last thing, looking back on January, that stands out to me is I was moving, but I don't think I ever actually defined, whether to myself, to y'all, to my family, to anybody, what actual good execution is going to look like. Like I never set a metric for how I know that I'm executing on what I said I was going to do for the year. And the problem with that for me is, without that, you can feel productive because you're busy, because you're moving, because you are in motion and you're doing the things. Without it, you don't actually know if your productivity or movement is even aligned with the goals, because you're just doing stuff. I've done a lot of that in my lifetime of like, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And when I go back and check the books, so to speak, I realize that I didn't really do much. And by the way, if you hear sounds, like, let's just be clear, this is an apartment, not a YouTube studio. So life is happening in this house. I have 2 kids. I have a wife. It's dinner time while I'm making this video. So if you hear any sounds that just kind of seem odd, just go with it. This is normal. This is real life, okay? All right, back to the video. So I think This correction is probably the absolute easiest for me, but the most daunting at the same time, because it means that I have to sit down and I have to literally set standards for myself that I am to follow for the foreseeable future, not vague progress markers or like low effort needle movers, like not that kind of stuff. I'm talking about things that when you put it down at the end of the week or at the end of the month and you sit down and look at it and you tally up, like, I set the goal that this month I'm supposed to lose 8 pounds. You know, you only lost 3.5 when you had the capacity to lose 8. Like, it's right in your face. It's black and white. It's forced accountability, which you hear me talk about all the time on this channel. Is like forcing myself to have to, like, stare, as I say, stare nakedly at my inadequacies. Like, did I do it? Did I measure up? If I said I'm reading 2 books a month, which just happens to be one of my goals, did I finish 2 books this month? If not, why not? Because that was a goal. Therefore, the effort should have been put into it to get it done. You either executed or you didn't. And I think the biggest goal for that, at least for me personally, is being very aware just how easy it is to drift. Like, I mean, let's just be real. We all have life, and sometimes life be lifing. That's life, though. And so you still have to have these things to be able to track. But yeah, man, like, this is just a short update, because I know I said in one of the posts on the community thread, y'all prepare to be sick of me. And I meant that. Like, don't get it twisted. I actually meant what I said, but I had to take a step back for a second just to really, really be sure that I'm doing this for me this year, to make sure that I can be sick of myself in a good way, because I'm showing up and I'm doing all the things without the views, without the thumbs ups, without all these things that they're nice. They're nice metrics, you know, they're vanity metrics. They're nice things to look at and be like, oh snap, this is dope. But at the end of the day, I want to be proud of my own action. I want to be proud of my own movement and my own flow. And I feel like I'm there, which is why I'm making this video now. But I also noticed in doing so that it gave me some things to reflect on, some things to, like, really focus on going into February, so that I can really build this momentum. Like, the reality is, like I said, I got 60 pounds to lose before September. That's the goal. I'll say that's the low goal, is 60 pounds. The real goal is a number much higher, and yeah, it's one of those things. They say if your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. Well, the other number is bigger. I'll just say it. The other number is 100 pounds. Now, if you know, you know, I lost 100 pounds in 10 months 2 years ago, gained it mostly back, not all of it. But the real goal is to lose that 100 pounds again. I only got 8 months. Is it doable? Honestly, yes. Am I chasing that? Honestly, yes. Like, I really want to come with it this year. So, realistically, 60 pounds. Shooting for the stars, 100 pounds. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point, and my wife's giving me the look, and it smells like she's making tacos. And if y'all know anything about tacos in this house, yeah, your boy gotta go. So, anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Please like, comment, subscribe. Gotta go. Love y'all. Peace.